Are you winning, son?
BlueArchive is one of the most casual gacha game that I've ever played. Not only does it have a really great story and lovable characters, it also has a gameplay that's simple enough that anyone can get into it immediately. And it really has a great community. It's questionable at best, but it's still less toxic than other gacha communities. At least in my opinion, but I am proud to be part of the BlueArchive community. With that being said, on with the video. BlueArchive's gameplay is simple and easy to understand. You form and mobilize units or students as the game calls them. You can deploy up to 6 members, 4 at the on-screen and 2 off-screen, which are designated as strikers, which are your frontline unit, and specials, which are your support units. Each student has a different EX skill or ultimates as other games calls it, that you can use during battle, be it healing, buffing, fire support, or summoning vehicles that will aid you like a tank. And that's the entire gameplay. There is a synergy chart that you can look at on which enemies are weak against which. It's easy to understand, and you won't worry about it until the late game, especially the newly added one you won't worry about for a long while. BlueArchive has different modes as you go along the game, such as missions, bounty, commissions, scrimmage, tactical challenge, total assault, and grand assault. Missions are the regular mode where you have to clear a certain level in order to proceed with the main storyline. This is also where you get equipment that you can give to your students to give them more of a boost, so to say. Bounty is where you get your stuff to upgrade your student skills. You can get the Blu-ray discs and artifacts. There are 3 different locations that you get these items. Each one has a different terrain and a buff specifically to each school. You can see them once you click on which bounty you want to do, and once you cleared the stage and you don't want to progress for now, you can just do sweeps. Sweeps are basically your auto-clear mode. Once you 3-star a stage, it's really handy once you get to the later game and you cleared everything already, or if you're just doing your dailies. Scrimmage is a weapon upgrade material grinder. You unlock it around level 40 or so. In the same sense as Bounty, it has 3 different locations, which are Trinity, Gehenna, and Millennium. Unlike in Bounty where you fight mobs and such, here you fight other students, kinda like PvP. Tactical Challenge is a auto battle PvP. Either you watch yourself get beaten up by the other team or just skip and just hope for the best that you win. The higher your rank, the more rewards that you get. You get daily pyros every day depending on your rank. Total Assault and Grand Assault, I'll put them both in the same category since they are the same with just a little difference. Both of them are basically boss fights. There is a daily rotation for the both of them. On Total Assault you get to fight the boss and try to beat them as fast as possible so that you can get a high score and get plenty of rewards. It's the same for Grand Assault, but the only difference is that you get to fight the boss with 3 different armor types, so you need at least 3 or more squad compositions that have the same damage type. BlueArchive's characters have wonderful designs, and each of the designs portrays what kind of character they are. That's all that I have to say here. In all honesty, what do you expect from a gacha game? Of course it has top-notch, well-designed characters, since that's one of their selling points. But that aside, the game has a unique way of getting to know the characters called Momotalk. Characters will chat with and ask you to hang out with them or have a date. And essentially getting to know them more personally. Every character in the game has a live 2D that you can display on your lobby screen. And you get pyroxenes every time you hang out with them, so make sure that you increase their relationship levels. For the gacha system in BlueArchive, It is one of the most generous systems in all gacha games. If you ran out of proxine, then that is your fault, because they give more than enough of it that you will have more than enough to get the character that you want. They don't have the 50 to 50 pity here, but once you get 200 rolls, which you can get by just playing the game, it's actually that easy. And currently they're giving out free 10 rolls since it's the 3rd anniversary in global, so if you're currently new to the game, you're lucky that you get to experience this. So don't forget to log in every day to get a free 10 pull every day. And speaking of being a new player, if you just started the game, BlueArchive has a free pull that has a guaranteed 1 or 2 ultra rare unit, and you can re-roll it until you like the units that you get. So my final verdict for the gacha of BlueArchive is that it's really good. Music in BlueArchive is really, and I mean really, beautiful and amazing. I know I'm exaggerating a bit here, but when you look at other gacha games and listen to their music examples like in Arknights, FGO, Honkai Impact 3rd, and Star Rail, and of course Genshin Impact. All of the gacha games that I mentioned have their own unique and beautiful music. But BlueArchive's music is different for me. I like how the composer makes each song and how you can feel each character's emotion when a specific theme is playing in the background. And a lot of people use BlueArchive's song, even people who don't play BlueArchive probably heard it once or twice. BlueArchive's story is good, along with its amazing music. It really hits something entirely different. I am not exaggerating when I said that the story is amazing, and if you're still here despite the spoiler warning earlier, I just beg of you to sit down and play through the story. It's really worth your while. But if you don't have the time for it, there's a lot of playthrough in YouTube that you can watch. Or maybe you can watch the anime itself, though it's only through volume 1, but it's still something. The game takes place in Kavodos, also known as Academy City. The people in Kavodos are mostly anthropomorphic adult animals, robots, and the students themselves. Each student studies in different schools that exist in Kavodos, such as Trinity and Gehenna. Each school has different cultures that are inspired from different countries. You play as the character Sensei, and you have been assigned to be the advisor of an organization named Shale, an organization that was formed when the General Student Council president suddenly disappeared. The General Student Council is basically the government of this world. You have the authority similar to the president, and you help students from different schools, helping them with whether is creating a new game, or maybe helping out with their work, or just simply by hanging out with them. Regardless, each stories has different take and approach. Even though your character is busy, you were there for each student to make sure that they're okay, to see every step they take, guide them to right path. You see how you develop your relationship with them for each and every bond story that you made with them. You are their comfort, you are the one who can help you, they are their guiding light, their teacher, their sensei, and for you they're your only students you have, so they're the most precious thing you have in this world. As you progress through the story, you'll see different sides of your character and how strong your resolve is. As an organization known as Dermatia, a group of adults that originate from beyond Kavodos threatens your students by making monsters and abominations that is beyond anyone's understanding. Schools wage war with each other. And as the world is ending around you, you're there trying to solve this, to make things go that no student of yours will suffer using a power that may degrade your very being, just to protect the smiles on your students' face. BlueArchive is really good at delivering its story that has many cliches on them. You yourself know what's already going to be said and what's going to happen next, but why are you tearing up as Hifumi say the most cliché line ever, or why do you feel so sad and frustrated when Hoshino resigned as the president of the foreclosure task force and handed herself over to the PMC in Volume 1? BlueArchive makes those clichés as they are. They're not forced. They're not necessarily realistic, so to say, but for me it's something that I really come to love in BlueArchive. The story isn't something new or unique. It's full of clichés, but the reason why it's good is because it feels real to you and can connect to each character. Everyone has different parts to play and their own personality. They're not just background characters that just stand there. They feel alive and you can relate to each and one of them. The story itself is presented like a classic visual novel, and I know most of you don't like reading, but trust me, it's worth it, because once that static image suddenly shifts, along with the music, it hits much more differently. I didn't give much thought about until recently that the combat scenario in the storyline has a story in itself, You can see the character fighting and backup coming to help. You can see the story being made as the combat progresses. I know I have said this before, and I'll say it again. I love BlueArchive story and characters, the good parts, the funny parts and the sad parts. I love it all. The shifting of tones when builds up into different heights from how they know how you will react to each character. They know how to play with the player's emotion, especially when it comes to the characters. You can feel each character's emotion throughout the story. The writers of BlueArchive's aim is that we feel the weight of the responsibility of sensei, that we are sensei, we are responsible for each student, we're not just some random character. You as their sensei are responsible for them, you need to guide them to the right path. You may not be the perfect person, but you're the one that they're counting on. The story of the game is something that the writer themselves gave all their heart out just to make it, and I love and appreciate how they did it, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I am really sorry for the text-to-speech, but I can't really record my voice currently. Hopefully I could do it in the future. And that's all for this video. Please subscribe and leave a like so that I could continue making videos like this in the future.